line up along the amphitheater stairs. If you want to have Andy do it.
You don't want to do it?
I'm not doing it.
You want to do it?
I don't have to do it. What's the? Or something like say like yeah, running away with your game. And you don't set up. Something along the lines of like you guys line up against the stairs of the amphitheater. Something like they're lining up against this along the stairs. So
forgot what to say. All right. Good morning. Lunch is now being served, and please line up along the amphitheater stairs. Thank you.
Yeah, a little more enthusiasm. It's the All People's Luncheon celebration. I know you're hangry. And we're probably not going to get a little. Let's go look at the lines. can't just do this. This enforces it. Feel like you should do it. Hurry up. Never supposed to lie. There won't be many people there. Oh, you're oh, yeah. I love
All right, everyone. Welcome to All Peoples 2025. Our program is about to begin in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a reminder that we're going to start the program in 1 minute. 1 minute. This is your 1 minute warning.
Really life and students feeling like there's a place where they belong and where we recognize that they are all unique individuals, but under some different categories where they have shared experiences. How do we provide an intellectual, personal, professional experience for students? How do we provide the opportunity for culture, the opportunity of their own experiences and what they bring to be a part of our campus? Because we want what they bring, something new, something that's going to enhance us, help us develop and grow as a campus. The Office of Inclusive Excellence, which we also refer to as OIE, has been involved in some new initiatives on our campus, one of them being the Black Student Success Initiative, and the other, the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Initiative. Shortened version of that is ANAPI.
These initiatives are really born out of the people on campus, the students, the staff that are already doing much of this work, some of our faculty members. OIE has packaged them and created a proposal for our system to receive and to review and to support.
Really, the intent is to be able to demonstrate that the programs and initiatives we are introducing through these funding are effective in supporting our Black and APITA students, and also apply those learnings to different populations as well, because these are opportunities for us to learn by working in culturally relevant ways with different communities What are some common things that may work for all students at Cal State San Marcos?
These initiatives are happening basically on all 23 campuses in one form or another. We want to be a leader in the system as it relates to magnifying these types of efforts and maximizing the impact.
How are we addressing any systemic needs that those students may have? And certain students, especially underserved, underrepresented population of students, have different and unique needs. How do we make sure that they feel as if they belong? How do we hear from them? Are they facing barriers, and what are those barriers? Because what does it mean to have a missing population from education? We cannot do any of this work without partnership. Everything the Office of Inclusive Excellence does has to be in partnership with the people who are in the spaces, the people who are in the jobs, because they know firsthand what it means to serve students.
The concept behind the Black Student Success Initiative is based on family, okay? It's no more complicated than that. And that's why you see in the ANAPI initiative, there are many community partners. And if you got a flavor of the way that they do things, it is like a big family. When you see how this really works, people are going to want a part of it because they're going to start to understand we can all succeed by working together as a family.
And knowing that there's a network of people here, not just among the staff and faculty, but among their peers to help them, I think is really ultimately at the heart of why we do what we do for these unique student populations.
It's really about enhancing the culture, equity, inclusion, diversity. Yes, those principles are very much a part of the work of inclusive excellence, but they are all working together for the experience of a faculty member, of a staff member, of a student. And really our goal for all parts of what we're doing on campus is student success.
Speaking of family and community, how are y'all doing today? So we delayed a few moments because some of our guests and partners are still getting their food. As you can see, this is a reserved event, and some folks who didn't get to register before still showed up, and we wanted to accommodate them. So if you have an empty seat next to you as you see people come in, please raise your hand so that folks can have a seat. That will be very helpful for this program today. So I wanted to acknowledge that. I also want to just take a moment to recognize the video that we just viewed. It's highlighting a few of the initiatives that OIE is leading and partnering on our campus with various folks. I think it beautifully highlights the work of our student success programs. Student success is truly the cornerstone of what we do here at Cal State San Marcos. It reflects our it reflects our commitment to equity and inclusion and the holistic development of every student who calls CSUSM home. I want to take a moment, or I want to take time to recognize and thank those who are leading the initiatives that we talked about, especially our Black Student Success Initiative and our ASAP, Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Student Achievement Program. Your partnership and advocacy continue to make a lasting difference in the lives of our students. And at this time, anyone who has supported, who's leading, who's grant writing, any aspect of our community that is a part of those initiatives, please stand up and be recognized. Thank you. We know that at the heart of student success is more than just grades or graduation, although that's very important. It's also about nurturing the humanity within each learner and ensuring that every person has the opportunity to thrive. So for housekeeping items, if you do not know where the restrooms are, to my right, outside of this door, there are restrooms on this floor. If you need single stall restrooms, they are on each floor above us. If not, Jamie, can help you, or Sarah. Jamie or Sarah, if you're in the room, raise your hand. Hi, right here to my back table. And in addition to that, I also want to make sure for housekeeping, if you can keep your cell phones off, but very much so if you need to use your camera to capture a moment, you're welcome to do so. In addition, as a part of our commitment to sustainability, your program, this is why I have a script. I don't know why I'm not reading it. Your program is on the table. We are proud to be in partnership with our sustainability officers. We have our zero waste ambassadors to help you today at each of the trash bins, so you know how to compose your event. So raise your hands to the ambassadors in the corner. I have a slide here to help you if you don't know where your fork go, because plastic forks unfortunately go to landfill. They do not go to recycle. That's important to note. Your plates are compostable, so I just want to make sure we know that. And I have a guide and folks to help you, because our commitment to sustainability is also important. Okay? Now, again, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 11th Annual All Peoples Luncheon. With today's theme being Humanity First, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Ariel Stevenson, and I have the honor of serving as the Deputy Diversity Officer in the Office of Inclusive Excellence. We are thrilled to have you today. Welcome back for those who've been here before. Welcome to those who've never been here. We hope you're able to enjoy yourselves. And also, very much so, thank you to our student nominees and our student winner that the president will talk about later in the program, because we are very happy to see you here. At this time, I'm also going to have you just raise your hand. I know we had each of your photos rotating at the beginning of the program, and I just don't know who could see it, because I know you were in the line getting food up the steps. So if any of the nominees are already present, please stand up and be recognized so that everyone can see you. Thank you. I just wanted to take a moment to express our heartfelt appreciation to each of you as student nominees for your dedication and hard work. Your contributions are not only vital to our community, but they also shape and strengthen the community for today and tomorrow. I also want to continue to acknowledge each of the faculty, staff, and administrators, students, and community members who are present here today. And finally, I want to make sure that I acknowledge our State Assembly member, Dr. Darshana Patel. Please stand up. We are so grateful for your support and leadership. If you and any other elected officials are in the audience, please let them stand up as well. But we just want to thank you for your public service. It's just you, Dr. Patel. I just wanted to catch anybody else, but it's just you today. But thank you for your public service and your commitment to our communities. And as I conclude my welcome, it is my pleasure to invite to the stage Tommy Devers, Assistant Director of the American Indian Student Center, who will lead us in a land acknowledgement, also known as the NEST. I think that's very important to note. Thank you once again. Welcome again. Welcome to the All Peoples Luncheon.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to ground us in place. California State University San Marcos acknowledges that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Liseño Payamcowicham people. Today, this meeting place and its surrounding areas remain home to the 6 federally recognized bands of the La Jolla, Pala, Pama, which is my tribe, and Verges, Pachanga, Rincon, and Saboba, Liseño Payamcowicham peoples. It is also important to recognize that this land is shared among the Kapinga-Wicham, Capeño, Kumeyaay, and Ipai peoples. We honor their continued connection to the land, water, and culture, and commit ourselves to building relationships grounded in respect, reciprocity, and recognition. Standing here today brings me full circle. Over 16 years ago, I received this very award for celebrating inclusion and diversity. At that time, I didn't realize how deeply that moment would shape the direction of my life. Hey! It reminded me that representation isn't just about being seen, it's about doing something that matters for your people. That experience sparked a commitment to return to my community, not just educated, but motivated, to give back in a way that was real, lasting, and rooted in who I am. Since then, I've had the privilege of helping reimagine my tribe's youth program, worked with homeless and at-risk youth in American Indian urban centers, and serving American Indian families in moments of financial hardship. Eventually, that path led me back here, not just as an alumnus, but as someone committed to creating change. There's a picture I keep of myself standing on my tribe's mountain. There it is. Looking out over the county. From that place, I can see the same lands my ancestors once gazed upon. Every day at work, I look east towards those mountains, remember that view, a reminder that what we do here continues a much older story. So today, as we gather in celebration, I offer this acknowledgement not only of the land, but of the relationships and responsibilities that tie us to it. May we honor these lands not just in word, but in action, through the work we do, the communities we build, and the futures we imagine together. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited because, hold on. Have you noticed how good you look today? I mean, really, you should just take a second and just look. Look at the person, tell the person next to you, you sure do look good today. Now, tell the other person on the other side, you sure do look good today. Yeah. Yeah, some of y'all said you look fly. I know. I heard you. I want to thank Tommy for leading us in a moment of reflection. Tommy, thank you for blessing us with the full circle of service from a student to a leader on this campus. I'm Dr. Allen, your Chief Diversity Officer on campus. On behalf of CSUSM and the Office of Inclusive Excellence, the President's executive team, and the committee that worked on interviewing students for this Champion Award, the group that selected our gift of culture this afternoon, and all of you, just welcome to All People's Luncheon, and thank you for making this a people's event. The team that has worked on pulling this beautiful occasion together with these beautiful people, Ariel, Cheryl, Alejandrina, Abdullah, Remy, Melissa, Mikkel, just thank you all. Yeah. Many of you work behind the scenes to keep diversity, equity, the ideals of diversity, equity, and inclusion and the practice knitted into the fabric of our daily activity. And I would like to just acknowledge some of our faculty associates that work with us in partnership to bring some of these initiatives from theory to practice. And that would be Allison Carr, Dr. Kiana Millett, Dr. Dreama Moon, Dr. Richard Armenta, Dr. Jonathan Trinidad, Dr. Gloria Pendy, Lucy Solomon, and Dr. Shelley Sledge. These are just a few of the faculty, because I'm here to tell you that if you're a faculty on this campus, if you're a staff member on this campus, you are doing this work. So we want to just thank you all for partnering with us directly and indirectly in so many different ways. Okay. As you know, Tommy mentioned, All People's Luncheon started some time ago. actually over 2 decades ago. The celebration was born out of the Cross Cultural Center. And it was a simple yet profound purpose to bring people together across every difference. Simple. To bring people together from across every difference. And that's what we're all about. Over the years, the celebration has grown into becoming something extravagant, large, but still significant, substantial, and intimate, okay? Personal. And that's why you can show up how you are with clear hearts and good minds, ready to interact. And we appreciate that. One of those staff members, our beloved retired Miss Marilyn McWilliams, which many of you know, she embodied this ideal. She understood that belonging is the work of all of us. And I had the short privilege of interacting with her, and I'm here to tell you, everywhere she went, she stopped every 10 seconds because she knew everybody, and everyone knew her. And just a beautiful spirit. And so we launched the Marilyn J. McWilliams Endowment Scholarship a few years ago in honor of her extraordinary care for all people. And I'm thrilled to share with you that that endowment initiative is super close to becoming endowed. We're about $3,500 away, give or take a couple of $100. Now, I know that one person could probably pay that $3,500, but that's not the ideal. The ideal is for everyone to give a little bit so that we can have a shared, symbolic spirit of excellence that we all have poured into. And so what we're gonna ask, what I'm asking is for you to join me, and I don't care if it's $5 or $50 or $500, but give just a little bit so that we can say that we all contributed to this spirit behind inclusive excellence. And there will be a first award recipient at some point, and you will know that as a community, we work together to make that happen. And that's a powerful, powerful thing. So please consider that. It's these types of small but mighty efforts. Ms. Marilyn will always say we're a small but mighty office. These small but mighty efforts are symbolic of the ideal of humanity first. A call for us to remember what connects us, okay? What matters, even in times that test us. Even in times that test us. That's when humanity first matters the most. Across our nation, we know that we're getting pushed and pulled in many directions. We're witnessing division and conflict and uncertainty. Yet, here at CSUSM, we are choosing a different way on purpose, okay? Empathy, compassion, listening, learning, leadership, so that everyone can be treated fairly. Humanity first means seeing the person before the position, the heart before the media post or headline, the shared future before the short-term fear. We together can overcome whatever obstacle we encounter. It means lifting one another up as we climb and ensure that progress is collective, not selective. As we reflect on what it means to live out the ideal of humanity first, it is my pleasure to introduce a leader who desires to guide us down a path towards fulfilling our promise of service and our commitment to excellence every single day. Our president, Dr. Ellen J. Neufeld. Join me in welcoming her to the stage.
So I was having a conversation with a few faculty members in my office, and we were talking about kind of the difficult moment that's happening in our world. I think maybe several. And one of the things that was raised is, where can we celebrate who we are and all that we're accomplishing? Is there something we should plan? Do we need to have a certain event? And I was sitting there, and with our provost, who had a grand moment of inspiration, he said, well, that's the All People's Lunch. That's the place where we come together to celebrate all people. Isn't that a simple concept, but one so profound right now? And it made me think in that moment, as I stepped back, about what this event really meant. And to echo Dr. Allen a bit, which I always learn from Dr. Allen, the idea that we get to come together today to celebrate each other, who we are, and we have community members, students, faculty, and staff. Our very own assembly member, Patel, right here with us. Yep, that's right. In this room, having the opportunity, in spite of the headwinds, celebrating who we are and how we come together. I was just realizing, I think as it was stated, that this is the 11th. So we've been going over a decade, and never has this event been more profound and important, I think, as it is today and right now. But you know, I take very little credit for this, actually none, because there is the mighty team that brought us here today. You heard from Dr. Allen, and then, of course, there's Ariel Stevenson that got us started today, right? But I wouldn't want to forget Cheryl, Lucero, Alejandrina, all of the people in the Office of Inclusive Excellence. That's right. Because, you know, the tireless and hard work that happens every day, this is, I think, for this moment, they bring this lunch together to make sure we get to really the culmination of so much work we do and to celebrate who we are and what we're about. I know that Dr. Allen mentioned that we've got so many people in this room that each one of you deserves to be celebrating, whether he mentioned the faculty fellows, student associates, but there's also so many people that come here today, whether you're student leaders, faculty, staff, community members, that come together in this room for the best of our community, the best of our students, and the best of each other. I obviously never get up on a podium and try to disregard the reality of our world. And I would say the reality of our world, as was just stated, is extremely difficult right now. It's difficult probably in every corner and every facet, no matter who you are, how you identify, and what you believe. It is difficult right now. And sometimes I will tell you that I lose hope. And that's a hard thing to say. Actually, sometimes I get up in the morning and think, I just don't have it in me to grow more as a person today. I don't know if any of you think that. But I look in the mirror and I think, oh, I don't know if I could just have a day off from growing as a human being. But then I get to come here, and it's hard here. It's hard for all of us, and it's hard for me. But I see the hope in being a part of CSUSM. I see a hope in being at this room today. And so it means so much today that we gather. And as we have so much to celebrate, please understand, I don't take away for a moment for how difficult this journey is for each and every one of us, from wherever lens, however we look at it. I also am grateful to our keynote speaker that's here today to help us really center and celebrate. So I am looking forward to hearing from Dr. Pela Ita, and he is a professor of Critical Pacific Islands and Oceania Studies and Ethnic Studies at the City College of San Francisco, and we're so glad you're with us today. I can't wait to hear you speak and learn from you. And I also want to know, I learned from each one of you. We were at the beginning, we had a video that highlighted so much beautiful work, but also the work of so many initiatives and grants and people leading in here, leading in love to make sure that we're moving things forward. You know, as we go through these times and all that we're talking about, I know that it's really important, being president, that you hear from me. And there are many times where I can't communicate as simply as I used to, or in as many grand public emails that I used to think nothing of sending out. But I do want to make sure that each and every one of you hears from me. I'm going to repeat what I said at convocation as we start. This university, CSUSM, is and will remain a place where our students are welcomed, valued, and supported. And I will say that no matter what happens and no matter what comes, diversity lives here. And so we're going to celebrate that diversity today, because diversity, I know, is our strength. There are so many of you in this room that have been willing, since I've been here for 6 years, to teach me, to tolerate my ignorance, to help me be a better leader. I've learned from so many of you. And this lunch symbolizes for me and emphasizes and reinforces that commitment to our values and who we are. And we're going to keep doing this work. And as you know, I've said this before, and I say it every time. As I say that, I'm not going to claim perfection. I'm not going to claim ease. I'm not even going to confess that we won't have to tap dance sometimes. But I want it to be known very clearly that by seeing all of you here today and all that you do, the many things that are happening across our divisions, departments, colleges, and schools in our community, that you are affecting real change. And the thing for me that is so powerful right now is not the big moments where I proclaim something from a podium. It's the moments, it's the quiet moments where I watch each of you individually advance the work, the care and the love. I mean the appropriate HR kind of love, but the love that helps each other. I see it in so many quiet and beautiful ways, and I've always noticed it, but I notice it now more than ever. I see someone helping another. I see someone reaching out. I see the work that's happening in a time where it's not easy to proclaim it. It's those moments, every small, large, really none of them are small, but every quiet or subtle moment that comes together to make the university who it is and to make sure that the people here are successful. You know, earlier this month, we hosted the annual HSI Summit, and the theme was In Community and Continuity, Sustaining Servingness Through Collective Responsibility. And that could not be more timely. A great example of all of those different moments. I know right now that the loss of HSI funding is deeply troubling. And we've got to work through that. Federal grants have provided critical support to our campus, innovative programs and pathways, and speak to the importance of the work of student success that we do. And again, while this funding is important, and we will continue to work to see what we can bring reinstated or find other ways and other funds. You know, I know that the loss will be felt, but I know what will also be there. This won't take away from our values, our commitments, or our responsibilities. They are not dependent on a federal grant. And at this summit, we heard from a national expert on HSI work. And it was so encouraging to hear how, despite funding cuts, the work continued on that individual's campus. And I know there are so many ways that people are working to make sure the work continues here. And I'm deeply grateful to all of you for that. I also wanted to mention, because it is a time to celebrate, and share with you that CSUSM has received the 2025 Higher Education and Excellence and Distinction Award for the 12th consecutive year. Yes. Now, we are among but a few universities with that long-running streak of being recognized nationwide with this award. And in case you're not familiar, Insight into Academia magazine selected CSUSM based on our exemplary diversity and inclusion initiatives and ability to support a broad definition of diversity on campus, including gender, race, ethnicity, veterans, people with disabilities, members of our LGBTQ plus community, everyone, all identities. That's what we won the award for, because everyone needs to know that you are welcome here and this is your campus. These are just two examples of the work that moves forward. And I know it's moving forward in a difficult time, but I just want to say how much I appreciate what each of you do just by showing up today. The fact that we come together committed to this work, committed to each other and our students' success and social mobility. I am humbled. I often say how proud I am to be the president, but I'm humbled to be the president of this university. And I thank you for being here and the fact that how hard we are all working together. Another bright spot is one of the first awards I presented on this campus was the Student Champion Award for Inclusive Excellence. And I have the pleasure of getting to award that now. You know, the President's Student Champion Award for Inclusive Excellence and Diversity annually recognizes a student for their outstanding achievement in the areas of diversity, educational equity, inclusive excellence, and social justice. When I think about our students, I am filled with pride again. And I have so much hope for the future because I know our students are the change that our world needs to see. I'd first like to just give a nod to our nominees. And some of them, I think, raised their hand a moment ago and are here with us today. Emily Mahmood, Israeli Palma Castillo, Jalen Ivester, James Proctor Massey Jr., Jalen Vasquez Hall, Melissa Christine Elias, Sol Amias Harrow, and Virginia Aguilar. Let's give them all a round of applause. Okay, drum roll. There we go. I so appreciate all of our nominees, but now I'd like to share a little bit about this year's President's Student Champion Award winner. This student started at CSUSM as a transfer student who commuted by public transportation, and they shared that at first they didn't feel connected to the campus. But they persisted, and that changed when this student became a civic engagement ambassador on campus, allowing them to channel their passion for self-discovery skills, inclusivity, and social justice into creating resources for marginalized students on campus while uplifting all student experiences. The student has basic needs access as their mission, working as a student assistant with the Cougar Care Network. I hope you get to work with Frank. And creating a CalFresh guide for CSUSM students that has been used across campus. The guide broke down confusing language. Oh, universities would never have confusing language, would we? Provided students with ways to advocate for themselves when applying for public benefits, normalized the use of public benefits as a student, and this student used their firsthand experiences as a transgender individual applying for and receiving CalFresh. Our award winner has also led workshops and presentations to educate students on the importance of civic responsibility, government processes, and how to get involved in local issues. Just one more example. We are so proud of our Innovation Hub. And for the Social Innovation Challenge, this student created a proposal for transforming our current commuter lounge. They presented viable and sustainable ways and research to reimagine the whole commuter space that supports the physical and mental health needs associated with long commutes. So isn't that all amazing? So who is this amazing student? Well, it is with great pleasure that I award Sol Amias Harrow with the President's Student Champion Award for Inclusive Excellence and Diversity. Congratulations, and would you like to come up to the stage? I know. Thank you. Yes. All right.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Sol Haro. This is heavy. Yeah, thank you. First off, I'd like to say a big thank you to every nominee and to Dr. Allen for all the inspiring and admirable work they do and have done. Every human being has a right to basic needs, and we should not have to suffer to acquire them. Throughout my life, I watched my mother's shame grow when society treated her differently for using public benefits like food stamps, Medi-Cal, and Section 8. I had to unlearn the stigma associated with using public benefits, but I felt like my work had been undone when I began to feel my own shame grow when I was treated poorly while applying for CalFresh as a transgender person. I felt very isolated in my experience, as there weren't many, if any, resources to help me navigate the unique circumstances my life presented. It was difficult to ask for any in-person help because at the time, I was deeply ashamed and terrified to be loud about who I am. Luckily, because of my position as a civic engagement ambassador on campus, all my feelings of shame, anger, and deep sadness could be channeled into the project that led me to create my CalFresh Guide. I don't know where she's sitting, but thank you to Shelby Rogers for supporting my passion for self-advocacy and for continuously inspiring me to create change. I want people to feel empowered and prepared when they advocate for themselves, especially when seeking basic needs. That's why the CalFresh Guide was so important to me. I was able to highlight and include communities that are often overlooked, like undocumented and mixed status individuals and transgender students, while uplifting all student experiences. I did this by using my firsthand experience with public benefits and being transgender, so that hopefully no one else had to experience the shame I felt, or at the very least could feel less alone. It doesn't matter how you feel about who I am, or if you even resonate with my story. What matters is that I tried to include every type of student at CSUSM seeking food assistance. This is a resource for all. For so long, I've looked for myself in spaces I thought I didn't belong in. I am proud and honored to receive this award because I am becoming the representation I craved throughout my life. I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Matthew Atherton, who was a huge staple in my growth here at CSUSM. Without him, I would have never approached the stage with a microphone. Thank you. Thank you to Sierra Morse, Antonio Rodriguez, and Donna Davis from Basic Needs and Cougar Care Network for taking a chance on me and allowing me to continue to serve students. Their work here on campus aligns perfectly with my goals as they are dedicated to uplifting students and providing essential resources to support their success and happiness in higher education. Y por la gente que habla como yo, que fueron criados como yo, o que son como yo, continuemos ocupando estos espacios porque merecemos estar aquí. Thank you.
Congratulations again, and your passion. Just make sure every student has the basic needs. That is just at the core. So congratulations, and to all of those nominated. What amazing students we have here. I'm so excited to be a part of this. And with that, I believe I'm turning the program over to, I have no idea who, but I'm excited to do that. Turning the all right, thank you.
All right. Good afternoon and talofa. My name is Grant Mwangustia, and I am an assistant professor of linguistics here at Cal State San Marcos. And I have had the pleasure of partnering with the Office of Inclusive Excellence through the CSU Asian Pacific Islander Student Achievement Program, which has allowed for so much important work, not only in reimagining, but also actualizing what a higher education should and must become through recently established programs here at Cal State San Marcos, like the APIDA Wayfinders Residential Academy and the Ngangana Samoa Language and Performing Arts Program. And that has led to this semester having established the first Pacifica Island Scholars Student Association here, who are in the back there that you'll hear from later. Making sure that that they see themselves here and have a space here at Cal State San Marcos. And a critical thread in developing these programs has been the work of our keynote speaker. So at this time, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you our keynote speaker this afternoon, Dr. David Ngaupu Matthew Palaita. Yes. Dr. Palaita is professor and chair of the Department of Interdisciplinary Studies at the City College of San Francisco. He is also adjunct professor at the University of Washington, Seattle in the Department of American Ethnic Studies, as well as an adjunct professor in intercultural studies at De Anza and Foothill College in Cupertino. A proud graduate of Waipahu High School in Hawaii, he earned his BA at the University of Washington in Cultural Geography and later earned both his MA and PhD in Ethnic Studies from the University of California, Berkeley. Dr. Palaita's pioneering vision has enabled him to build and launch many Pacific Island Studies programs throughout the state of California, including the critical Pacific Islands and Oceania Studies program and the VASA Student Success Program at the City College of San Francisco, as well as the Mana Learning Community at San Mateo Community College. His impact in ensuring that institutions of higher education can become a place where our indigenous knowledge thrives cannot be understated. Dr. Palaita often says that the vastness of our ocean cannot be contained in a single institution, and certainly he has proven that. As the rising tide his work has achieved has certainly lifted our canoes here at Cal State San Marcos. And so on behalf of us here at Cal State San Marcos, I humbly welcome you, Dr. Palaita, in our native language. Laususungar fo mai ta vita Palaita, faftai ilau tautua, ila atunu awasi ulumana imanuia oalo mafana wa Pasifika. Matau te tapo ayatu, a oialo i o faiva, ia manuia lau launga. Will you all please welcome or join me in welcoming to the stage Dr. David Ngaupu Matthew Palaita. And our Pacifica Association presents you with some leis. Clap tight.
I'm hella nervous. Thank you so much to Dr. Allen and his staff and President Neufeld for the gracious invitation to speak today at the 11th Annual All Peoples Luncheon. Malole soifo maua. Good afternoon. I am David Ngaupu Matthew Palaita, and my lineage is rooted in American Samoa. On my mother's side, Pangapango and Nu'uli, and my father's side, Afonotele, Ofu Manuatele. I want to acknowledge the indigenous peoples of this land, the Luiseño bands of native peoples, Pala, Palma, Pachenga, Ricon, and La Jolla, and other Indian communities of the broader San Diego County area in which California State University San Marcos currently resides. I honor my relatives of Oceania who remind me every day that the struggle to survive is ours to share and to teach others. I honor the many relatives and people across the Oceania who give us hope and possibilities for a new day, and to share what little we have while caring and uplifting others. Mahalo nui to our colleagues from Oceania, cultural practitioners, educators, community leaders, and the working class who continue to push the conversations on race and ethnicity in higher education in support of Pacific Islander programs. Thank you to these intellectual whakapapa genealogies who have shared with me the critical tools to understand the complexities of our world. These professors have been instrumental in my academic career, and I continue to thank them for their support. Fa'amalo mafafetai. To my parents, Tavita and Vivian Palaita, thank you for your prayers and your continuous support for this academic journey. My siblings and all of my nieces and nephews, who remind me every day why we are engaged in this work. And finally, in honor of delivering this keynote address this afternoon, I dedicate this address to my late brothers, To'ole Lofa, Darao Tavita Palaita, and Matthew David Palaita, both former students at community colleges. Before I begin my remarks, I'd like to pose a set of questions for us to think about. Why is Vasa a space that is sacred? What makes this framework interdisciplinary and decolonial? What is the difference between Pacific Islands and Oceania? And what is the critical in critical Pacific Islands and Oceania studies? Within the last 50 years, Pacifica professors Hanani K. Trask, Telesia Tewa, Epeli Hau'ofa, and novelist Albert Wendt set out to envision a new Oceania identity. A new identity for indigenous Pacific peoples that not only challenged prevailing and narrow views about Pacific Islanders, but a call for a new identity that privileges our voices, uplifts our mana, and preserves our cultures. These are the practices and everyday beliefs that my people have created in response to their environments that have become our ways of knowing, known popularly in Western academia as epistemology. This call for a new identity would undo the colonial legacies now internalized by many of my people, and that new identity would do three things. Number one, it would decenter stereotypical and racial assumptions and ideologies shaped by Western colonization, which have come to define relations between the colonial masters and its subjects. Number two, recenter our indigenous knowledge, which have often been relegated to purely entertainment, rather than legitimate forms of intellectual and cultural inquiry. And number three, unify our communities along the greatness of our oceans, rather than the smallness of our islands. Trask, Teiva, Hau'ofa, witnessed firsthand the corrosive nature of colonialism and its impact on our people's morale, our spirit, and our families. It is what Hau'ofa calls the island's confinement, both physical and mental, and the inability of our people to free themselves of such confinement. The result of this corrosion is a long tradition of infighting and the consistent need to set ourselves as different in kind. Hence, my people have internalized the colonial labels and have expressed those in ways that further the interests of our colonizers. One of the powerful ways to visualize this confinement is the use of maps. Let me show you what I mean. Here is a map of the Pacific Islands, and it is a map of the Pacific Islands because it is a view of the Pacific from the top looking down. This region is quite large, and to serve the interests of outsiders, colonizers defined, confined, and partitioned the region into three different and smaller areas. This made it easier to control its people and resources. These three areas are identified in the map as such. Polynesia. The most northern point of the region is Hawaii. The eastern border of the region expands from Hawaii south to Easter Island or Rapa Nui. The southern border of this region begins in Rapa Nui and then expands further south to Aotearoa or New Zealand. The region is then closed off with the western border that runs from New Zealand back up north to Hawaii. All islands and peoples within this triangle have been identified as Polynesia. Micronesia. The borders of this second region begin just north of Japan at the edge of the map and connects to Hawaii. Its southern border begins at the end of the map just below Palau and connects to the western border of Polynesia. Region 3, Melanesia. Its northern border is shared with the southern border of Micronesia, while its southern border runs from the edge of the map and outlines north of Australia and connects with the western border of Polynesia in New Zealand. This map of the Pacific Islands reflects several colonial markers. For one, the names of several island geographies and locations bear the names of their colonial masters, such as American Samoa, New Caledonia, or New Zealand, and French Polynesia as examples. But if we dive deeper, we uncover a story about an uneven and disempowering relationship between these island nations and their colonizers. It is a kind of relationship in which the center of power is outside of the region, and all decisions regarding those colonies must pass through that center. For example, our people who come from navigational cultures navigated the seas for centuries and traversed the seas freely, visiting islands and people at will. Today, immigration policies put in place by our colonizers have restricted our movements and have furthered the disconnection of our people. Furthermore, this map readily identifies the locations of several island countries, giving us the impression that people from these island nations are confined to their respective islands. The map of the Pacific Islands is a story about a constricted set of relationships that are defined by the smallness of our islands. It is a limiting and limited view of who Pacific peoples are. It is a colonial map that has come to define our experiences and our relationships. It has become an enduring visual compass that leads us to nowhere. The language and the discourse embedded in this map are about disconnection and differences. The labels, Micronesia, Polynesia, and Melanesia, are racial constructions, and it is the dominant language we use today, and it is also the discourse that frames our indigenous cultures and our experiences. What has resulted out of the history of colonization and belittlement? As a student at the University of Washington in Seattle in the late 90s, I had experienced moments of institutional racism. My undergraduate education afforded me the opportunity to co-found the Polynesian Student Alliance, and within the organization, we launched outreach, tutoring, and recruitment programs for Pacific Islander and other high school students. I would schedule my classes in the mornings so that I could tutor at Rainier Beach High School in the afternoons. One afternoon, however, was particularly different. I had expected to check in with students after the PSAT workshop that we signed up for the week before. Upon arrival at the school site, I learned that my students were disenrolled from the workshop. I pressed for answers, and students directed me to the counselor. I asked the counselor for an explanation, and they said that most of them were already headed to the military or the workforce. I replied to the counselor saying that with all due respect, these students, my students, our students, deserve a chance. The counselor responded saying that numbers, however, didn't reflect that, meaning the data didn't support making seats available for a community with low educational success. I walked away from that conversation feeling the racism in their decision to deny my students. But it became clear to me days later that it wasn't personal, but institutional. It was just the accepted policy, a cultural tradition, if you will, of the school. It was evident that there was a language barrier between policy and people, a disconnect. I realized at this moment that we needed a new language, a new story, a new discourse, a different way of talking about Pacific Islander students. The school lacked the resources to create one, and without it, the language barrier persisted. I highlight these examples because they outline the larger problem around the definitions of Pacific Islander identities. And I'm talking about ones that are created for us, but not by us, and ones that are created about us, but not for us. The creation of critical Pacific Islands and Oceania studies at the City College of San Francisco comes out of a movement by US-born Pacific Islanders in higher education. It is a movement that is responding to their configurations within and outside of Asian Pacific Islander. It is also a movement that is responding to the language barriers between Pacific Islanders and the West. And you see these contentions reflected in the independence movements of Hawaii, West Papua, New Caledonia, and Guam. The call for climate change initiatives around oceans rising in Fiji and Kiribati, the legacies of nuclear testing across Bikini and the Marshalls and Tahiti, the struggles for land rights, and the preservation of the arts and material cultures in Tonga and in Samoa. It is a movement that seeks to understand and redress historical inequities while creating possibilities to recenter. It is a movement that aims to build a bridge, a language that is uplifting, a discourse that is connective, and stories that are resilient. It is a movement centered on shifting the master narrative, creating our own stories, elevating our cultural traditions, and it is a movement that is challenging old ways of thinking about our communities. It is a movement and a set of stories that are rooted in a cleaner, stronger, and unrestricted power source. It is a movement for self-determination. City College students who created this new and growing academic field created a framework and a new lens and a new visual representation to go along with it. With the ocean as its power source, they sought to respond to the call first put out by our 4 scholars for a new Oceania identity. Their response, and an answer to the language barrier, was a framework called VASA. What is VASA? Va meaning space, space that relates, rather than the space that separates. It is relational, and it governs the connections between 2 or more entities. It is the relational space between entities and islands. Sa meaning sacred or respect. And it governs the degree in which relationships are nurtured. When the 2 words are combined, they form the word Vasa, which translates to sacred space or the space that is sacred. It happens to also be the translation for ocean. Now let's see a visual of this framework and indigenous discursive practice. In this visual representation of Vasa, island names are replaced and represented as people, villages, and communities. It is defined by using the indigenous terms for indigenous peoples or native, Tangata, Kanaka, Tautotanu. Also apparent in this visual are the connection between islands and communities. The Va, or the space between islands, are the relationships that correlate to the names of our indigenous cultural practices. For example, the connection between one island community with another is shaped by song or dance. Another connection between islands is shaped by tatau or tattoos. And in another example, villages are connected by canoes. This map of Vasa is a visual of our ocean archive, our library. It is a moving, thriving, and living archive, and it represents a remapping of our cultural identities as defined by the greatness of our oceans. Let's do a comparison of the maps of Pacific Islands versus Vasa. What do we see? For one, maps of the Pacific Islands resemble a confined space with a center of power that is thousands of miles away. A map of Vasa has many centers in which people, villages, and Kanaka are at its core. In a map of Pacific Islands, knowledge of our people's resources are extracted to serve the interests of the colonizers. In the map of Vasa, knowledge of our people's cultures are shared. In the map of Pacific Islands, Western narratives define our indigenous cultures. But in the map of Vasa, it is our indigenous cultures that define who we are. Maps of the Pacific Islands is a view of the world from the top looking down. Maps of Vasa is a view of the universe from the ocean looking up. This visual and discursive representation of our ocean parallels that of the constellations in the sky. It is no wonder then my people have always looked to the cosmos to guide our way. It is because our maps in the heavens reflect our ocean, and by extension, reflect who we are. This is why the ocean is in us. We are ocean. So what does this mean for us today? Let's revisit the questions I posed earlier. Why is Vasa a space that is sacred? It is sacred because of the connections we make and nurture between each other and between communities. It is sacred because we don't exist in the singularity. There is no Hawaii without Fiji. There is no Guam without Tonga. There is no Bilal without Samoa. There is no Oceania without Africa. And there is no Asia without Palestine. We exist in relation to each other rather than in opposition. So the struggles of West Papua are the struggles of Samoans. The struggles for the preservation of Mauna Kea in Hawaii are the struggles of African America. The struggles of Latin America are the struggles of Native America. And the struggles of Pacific Islander communities in our cities on Turtle Island are the struggles of our humanities. What makes Vasa a powerful and decolonial framework for our schools? Vasa is powerful because it draws from scholarship in various Western disciplines, sociology, anthropology, ethnic studies, history, psychology. But most importantly, Vasa is a decolonial framework because it draws from our ocean as an archive, ocean as a library, dance, song, canoes, poetry, and tattoos, all legitimate forms of knowledge and cultural inquiry that has the power to explain our communities. In other words, our cultural practices are not checked at the door when we walk into the classroom, but rather they inform and empower our paths through life, and by extension, teach us about our humanities. Why is Vasa a decolonial indigenous framework? For one, it was created by a community and a village of students. Secondly, Vasa is a counter-narrative. It is the language that challenges the dominant stories that are out there about Pacific peoples. Vasa addresses the language barriers that perpetuate cultural misunderstanding and institutional racism. What is the difference between Pacific Islands and Oceania? Pacific Islands is about a legacy of confinement, while Oceania is about a movement for liberation. What is the critical and critical Pacific Islands and Oceania studies? Critical is borrowed from critical race theory. And so in this field, we want to understand how the legacies of race and racism have impacted islanders in the US, especially in our schools. Pacific Islands refers to the physical geography of our island homes, and Oceania refers to our ocean communities. Vasa, or ocean, is the framework, and critical Pacific Islands and Oceania studies is the practice that sets our ocean in motion. Before I end, I want to thank my colleagues and the team of faculty and staff at CSUSM for sharing all of the great programs that have supported our students from Oceania, particularly the APITA Wayfinders program, residential summer program with TRIO, and the Ngangana Samoan Language and Performing Arts program. I'd like to thank the students of the APITA Wayfinders program and the Pacifica Islander Scholars Association for sharing your thoughts and insights of your experiences here at CSU San Marcos. I look forward to continuing our conversations in the near future. And lastly, my deepest congratulations to all of the student nominees for this year's Champion Award. May your path forward through CSUSM continue to be exciting and that all of your academic aspirations come true. The greatest rewards ahead are yet to come, along with the promising futures that put humanity first in ways that uplift all of us. I leave you now with some final thoughts near the closing of this address. We who identify as Pacific Islanders and indigenous peoples, including those who ally with us, have a particular relationship to the ocean. To us, the ocean is vast, deep, and profoundly meaningful. It is a source of strength, of inspiration, of nourishment, and it is simultaneously a recipient of love, care, and constant attention. To others, the ocean is simply a vessel for water and fish, something that separates and surrounds land. This view, however, is one that cannot be sustained by us, by those of us who imagine the ocean as that which is inside and around us. Think of an ocean that contains land instead of land that's surrounded by ocean. It is this kind of ocean that connects us. It is the sum of all of our relationships with each other. It is the social field that constitutes who we are, what we do, and where we're going. Vasa is not merely a metaphor or a fancy name. It is the real representation of specific parts of an immense and complex world, as experienced and imagined by those who defined and are defined by their ocean. We are momentarily connected here, brought together from different locations by the currents and currencies of our sea, in testimony to the ways in which we can be divided as well as linked by it. Vasa is also our fate, and in its capacity to break and connect us, it bestows peace and sometimes a terrifying turbulence that destroys and reorganizes us. This is the ocean we navigate, and it is the ocean that navigates us. We will encounter in ocean an incredibly rich set of voices whose tones and tenors will engage with the particularities of the histories and cultures of Pacifica. These particularities include the special regard that we have for our ancestors, the sacredness by which we accord our natural world, the pain of genocide inflicted on us by our colonizers, and the agonies of racial and sexual oppression that have gripped our lives, and the beauty, the elegance, and the power of our hopes, our desires and pleasures, our fears, our struggles as peoples of the sea. This is the story of our ocean we shall never forget. Vasa is humility because we know respect. We can navigate without fear because of the stories we share. We know survival because of tomorrow's generations. We have the capacity to learn because we are the creators of knowledge. We know perseverance because we have weathered many storms. We know love because our hearts encompass passion. We know unity and humanity because Vasa, our ocean, knows no borders. Thank you. So I'd like to invite everybody.
Dr. Palaita, for your words of wisdom. As a small token of our gratitude, the Pacific Island Student Association here at Cal State San Marcos and from Miracosta Mana program would like to perform a special item in your honor. Thank you.
And please, everyone, you want to get up, clap, join in this dance. This is a demonstration of our ocean archive in motion. Thank you.
Tomorrow.
nai oi lenei vasa Samoa ea Samoa ea Sei tau tuana ilova ingoa Ole Samoa lava ole penina le ula tifa O te tiwai ile matalasi ole lalolangi O te tiwai ile matalasi ole lalolangi Hey, oh
Lou, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you to our community for bringing such a powerful spirit as a gift to each of us. I want to congratulate our nominees once again, our award winner. I want to thank you all for really embodying this ideal of humanity first. You know, we all walk it out a little bit different, but we all must walk it out. We all must walk it out. Some of us think we are land. Some think we are air, but we are ocean. We are ocean. The world is comprised of 75% ocean, something like that. So let's respect humanity. Let's respect each other. With that, I just want to encourage you to carry the spirit with you as you leave. Consider contributing to a legacy, as you see on the screen here, and blessings to you throughout the afternoon. Thank you.